Hey house guests, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Georgia L. Knight and Gail Murphy. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so when we left off yesterday, the house guests were anxiously awaiting the Power Veto competition. Just to give a little recap here, Kyle and Ro are up on the block, and Kyle is secretly Kiefer's number one target, but he's been, playing it off like it's more Ro, or maybe he's got like a backdoor plan in mind, but in reality, his target is Kyle. So the other competitors in the POV competition, we've got Austin, Jed, and Beth. Now let's just look at their situations really quickly. Austin wants to use the power veto on Kyle. A lot of people are speculating ooh, there's a blossoming showmance there. Those two are getting really tight. Also, they're working together on a game level. But Austin is not going to use the veto if Brayden would be the replacement nominee. And Kiefer has been telling the Sunsetters if someone other than one of the nominees uses the power veto, he will put up the veto holder's closest ally, the other person in that pair. So yeah, I don't see Austin using the veto if she wins it. And then Jed and Beth, they were going back and forth on either throwing the power veto to Kyle or Ro, or winning and using it on one of them to try and gain favor with them. Because they want Austin on the block. They feel threatened by Austin, and they want her out. So Kiefer is not into this. Kiefer wants Kyle to go. That is his target. He does not want to have put up both guys and then have both of them stay and potentially come after him next week. So he's like, I made these nominations, one of them needs to go. And I think ultimately Jed and Beth would respect his wishes and not use the power veto. Okay. I mean, they might still throw it. Who knows? But the feeds were down several hours for the POV competition, and when they come back, we find out that Rohan was the big winner. Whoa, this is surprising. Everybody was saying before the competition that there was no way that Ro was going to win because he's so weak from being on slop for 3 weeks now. So I'm not sure what the competition was, but he had an ice pack on his nose. I guess he got hurt. But at least he got that POV, right? So he will be safe for the rest of this week, assuming he uses it on himself, which I mean, duh. But that means it's not looking good for Kyle. Uh-oh. Alright, so Kiefer, Tina, and Tara were having a game chat in the Expedia room. Just a little side note here, too. They were sitting in front of a chessboard, so Big Brother must have felt bad after watching them try and make that, cookie one a few weeks ago. So, Kiefer says that he is leaning towards putting Austin up as the replacement nominee, but she's just a pawn. Kyle is still the target. So Kiefer says he's hearing that Austin has an alliance with Brayden, Kyle, and Ro. Correct. These four, they were all part of the Oddballs together, but within that Oddballs alliance, they are definitely a tight four now. So Tina says people are going to be pushing really hard for Victoria to go up as the replacement nominee because they're all trying to protect themselves and put everything that happened last week onto Victoria when, all these other people were also involved in getting LaToya out. So Kiefer's oh, they've already been pushing for it. They, meaning Kyle, Austin, Ro, and Brayden, Carb, have been throwing her under the bus hard. So then Tara kind of pivots the conversation. Tara says, I'm not the type to quit, but I'm seeing all of these pairs and I feel like I'm at the bottom of everything and I'm number one on the chopping block. And she says, I'm going to be really upset if I end up being the first one on the jury and I'm away from my family for another month for no reason. Wait a second. Is Tara asking to go up right now? What is going on here? So apparently she was having a bad day, struggling with the slop and everything too. But Tara's asking, how can we actually put ourselves in a position to go really far in this game? She wants to make sure she's not going to be one of the first people on the jury. So Kiefer says, well, we need to stick together and never give up. And then Kiefer goes back to the game talk about what's going to happen this week. Kiefer says, I'm not putting Victoria up on the block. We know she will take a big shot if she wins HOH again, and she's going to be loyal to us because we have shown loyalty to her. TNT agree. They seem really bothered by the former oddballs. I mean, the oddballs is pretty much done, right? They feel upset that the oddballs are throwing Victoria under the bus so far. They're not into that. They like Victoria, and they are like grossed out by how quickly Carb has turned on her. So then they talk about their position in the game, and these three are pretty much in the middle right now. I would say Kiefer is definitely more with Sunsetters, and Tara and Tina are more playing the middle. But their dilemma at this point, they feel like they'd have a better shot at beating the oddballs moving forward, like if they work with them, beating them in the end. But they feel like they can't trust them as much. Look at how quickly they turned on Victoria. However, you know, they feel like they can trust the Sunsetters more, but they're worried they can't beat them in the end. They'd be going up against some really tough competitors, so they're not really sure which side is going to be better for them to stick with. So then, this was weird. Tina and Tara started pitching for Kiefer to put up Ty or Jed as the replacement nominee. After Kiefer has said so many times that he's, like, loyal to that group. It was weird. But they're like, yeah, we're just throwing it out there. They're saying if you put up Ty or Jed, only Beth and the other guy that stays are going to be upset. Which I don't think is true, because I think Kyle and Ro are going to be pretty pissed that they went up on the block this week. I don't think they're just going to forget that. But Kiefer is like, no. He's focused on taking out Kyle this week. And he says with Austin up next to Kyle, the vote should be unanimous for Kyle to go, except for Ro. You know, Ro is probably going to vote for Kyle to stay no matter what. Alright, so then Beth and Jed were chatting in the Destiny bedroom. And Beth says, Austin, man, she has been bringing up our final two again after not talking about it since she was HOH. You know, she's bringing this all up again now because she needs me. So she was like, yeah, Austin told me that the two of us could go far into the game with Brayden. And she was saying that Austin would be getting info from Kyle, and Beth would be getting info from Ty and Jed, and then they could, like, meet up and go over everything together. And Beth was like, she's not even getting any information from Kyle. So Beth says she's glad that Austin is, like, coming back to her now, but she is not going to give Austin any info. She can't trust her. So these two know that Austin is likely going up as the replacement nominee. That's what Kiefer wants. But they're going to pretend that they don't know about it and that they think it's possible that it could be Victoria going up because that's what the other side is pushing for. So they're going to play along with it and not spill the beans. But they agree that Austin needs a little scare this week. She's too comfortable. Ooh! Okay, these two are not even HOH this week, and somehow they still have HOH-itis. It's hilarious. But they think that Kyle's going to be all over them for the rest of the week, and it's, like, bothering them how upbeat the oddballs still are, and Jed can't get over that Kyle made a tropical passion fruit juice for everyone. He feels like Kyle's, like, kissing everyone's asses by doing that. He's never done that before. But it was just so funny because Jed could not stop bringing up this, like, tropical juice that Kyle made. It was just too funny. And Beth's like, that's so embarrassing. If I knew that I was going home, I would just be myself. Okay, Beth, we'll see in the future if that's the case. But anyway, Kyle joined Tina and Tara in the Expedia room. He was chatting with them, and Kyle's like, so how'd your conversation with Kiefer go? Did you get any info from him about what he's thinking he's gonna do? And Tara says, well, Kiefer told us not to stress, but that he doesn't know what he's gonna do yet. They know exactly what Kiefer's going to do, but they are not giving out this information to the former oddballs. No way. So Kyle's like, all right, I'm going to need you guys to go to bat for me I'm going to need you to push for Victoria to go up as the replacement if you guys don't mind. They totally mind. Tara says it feels kind of grimy that, like, everybody is throwing Victoria under the bus. And Kyle's like, yeah, well, I think you kind of have to say Victoria's name if you want me to stay, because people will vote Victoria out. Yeah. Okay, meanwhile, Kiefer joins Beth and Jed in the Destiny bedroom, and Kiefer confirms he's putting up Austin, not Victoria, and he's hoping that Beth, Jed, and Ty are all going to have his back next week. I think he's a little bit freaked out seeing how everyone turned on Victoria so quickly. So he's hoping that's not going to be the case with him after he's not the HOH anymore. So they're like, of course, we got your back. Don't worry about it. So then they're comparing notes on Austin, and they realize that Austin offered a final 3 deal with Brayden to both Kiefer and Beth. So they have a good laugh about that. Kiefer lets them know in his POV speech, he's going to say that Austin is one of 2 people that he believes will stay against Kyle. So he's going to call it out in his speech that Kyle is his target. And he feels like by keeping Victoria off the block, Victoria will be indebted to them moving forward. Victoria's not indebted to anybody. She's going to do whatever the hell she wants. So shortly after, Victoria joins them, and they start pumping her up. They're telling her, we're the only people who haven't been saying your name, like us and Tina and Tara, like they're all good too. So Victoria thanks them, and she's like, you know, it's really crushing me that everybody's throwing me under the bus now. It's really messed up. So Victoria says, I'm working with you guys, meaning the Sunsetters. She's like, you have my word. I've got people to go after now, meaning Austin, Brayden, and Roe. I'm really not sure who Victoria would go after if she won HOH next week. It would not shock me if she put up Jed and Ty. But Victoria says the other side was throwing you guys under the bus to me last week, and now they're throwing me under there. So she's telling the Sunsetters, you guys can trust me. I'm a loyal person. I love Victoria, but after what she did last week, she's telling them she's loyal. What? So the Sunsetters keep pumping her up against Carb. And Victoria keeps talking about how much she wants to work with the Sunsetters. She tells Ty later as well. She was talking to him. And then once Victoria's alone, she talks to the cameras and she's like, that is crazy. I'm so good at this game. She says, I literally just sent their biggest ally home, and now, she says, take notes, people. That's how you play the middle of the house. I'm gonna win this game. She's the best. She's just so freaking entertaining, and she's so messy, and I love watching. So anyway, later, Ty and Jed take another bath together in the HOH, and Kiefer and Beth were hanging out with them. And Beth was, like, working on Jed and Ty's feet. I'm sorry, but feet gross me out so much, so it was like, bleh. But they were talking, again, about how annoying it is that the other side is still so upbeat. But they were also saying they plan to keep Roe on slop if any of them win HOH again next week. Holy crap, you're really gonna keep this guy on slop for a month? That's so messed up. That's kind of cruel. That's too much for me, man. But yeah, they also talked about the Victoria situation. Now she's saying that she's going to be loyal to them. And Kiefer's like, yeah, I think it would be really good for us if Victoria won HOH next week. Yeah, it would be good for Kiefer. I definitely see her being loyal to him at this point, but I don't know about Beth, Ty, and Jed. The others are more skeptical about it. They're like, okay, maybe Victoria wouldn't be the worst option for us, but we can't fully trust her. Correct. Okay. So then other stuff last night. Kyle couldn't sleep last night, so he spent some time searching the house for a twist or a POV or something. He came up empty. He didn't find anything. And then today, Kiefer still has the same plan as far as I've seen so far. He wants to put up Austin, but Kyle is his target, and he has the votes to make this happen. Kyle and Roe, Austin and Brayden, they're all planning to push for Victoria to go up as the replacement nominee. And Kyle and Roe also want to keep working on Tina and Tara. Push it to them because they feel like Tina and Tara have some pull with Kiefer. However, neither Tina and Tara nor Kiefer will be into this plan of getting Victoria up on the block. They don't want it. They want to work with Victoria. But Austin already did pitch to Kiefer for Victoria to go up as the replacement. She was like, yeah, if you put up Victoria, it's the least amount of blood on your hands. Nobody's going to be upset about it. And Kiefer's playing along. He's like, oh yeah, definitely an option, definitely a possibility. But he's saying he's going to go with the house consensus on who should go up. Sure. He's putting Austin up on the block, but he did not tell her in that conversation. Yeah, so we'll see what Kyle's pitch is like, what everybody else from Carb does. We'll see. I don't know if the power veto ceremony is going to be tomorrow like it usually is, or if it's going to be today like it was last week. That was a real what? So I don't know what their plans are, but if you guys want to check back later just in case, if they do have the POV ceremony today, I will post what happened in the info for the spoiler. So that's where we're at right now. Not looking great for Kyle, but you never know what could happen. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.